Hey, what's going on? It's Ben Smith, founder here at Links. We help clinics across the country scale rapidly using proven marketing systems paired with high ticket cash pay protocols. Today, I have someone I'm super excited to introduce, Dr. Richard Carpenos of New England Spine and Disc out of Connecticut. Dr. Richard is an amazing doctor, amazing business owner, and all around just really great person that we love working with. Dr. Richard ended last time we talked. Remind me because I may get the number wrong. How much in collections?
Oh man, you're gonna put me on the spot.
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
A lot, brother. I don't want to brag to my colleagues, but yeah, I mean we're doing really well. 100K plus,
100K plus. That's good.
150K plus. Are you
150K
going for the
plus.
month, right? Uh,
Don't
Thanks
shy
to
away.
Links and Ben. Thanks to you guys.
um, so just generally, I'd love to kind of have you just share your story, how you got into chiropractic,
Oh,
and generally maybe a little more specifically how you built your clinic to where it is now and what you did and what happened along the way.
teamwork makes the dream work, and I just am really blessed to be in an area where, Ben, we've got a great team of really dedicated staff and doctors. And when I was a young kid and in college, and then I had my own experience and herniated a disc in my back, blew it out really bad. Was told that I needed back surgery, and I thought I was too young. My roommates in college said, don't do it. You're young, you'll be able to heal. And I got to a point seeing a chiropractor where I felt a lot better, but it didn't get me like all the way to the promised land, but certainly good enough where I was functional. And then along the way, the DRX 9000 came out. I was out with the salesman Dave Bernardi, and by the time I got home from that visit, about a 45-minute drive, I got out in the driveway and I thought the weight of the world was lifted from me, and I felt so much better. We have 3 DRX machines for the lumbar spine, 2 cervical DRXs, and most recently, for the last 2+ years, we've been doing SoftWave TRT, which is tissue regenerative technology. And Links and Ben Smith have helped me get both of those practices rocking. And I will say this, that I've been with 6 other companies, and we've had very limited success, if not zero. Some of the gurus that everybody in my profession knows off the tip of their tongue, got me 0 leads in an entire contract. So I've been a bit skeptical, obviously. And when I first spoke to you, you said you'll get me 10 leads in 10 days or it's free. It was something like that. And I think we got 14 leads in
Yeah.
like 6 days. And it's just been I mean, like a week ago Sunday, we had 11 leads. Oh, we actually had 11 confirmed appointments
Mhm.
on a Sunday and more leads besides that. So we have a dedicated staff now that's been handling the leads. And you actually took the time. It was well over an hour during a lunch. I don't know, several months ago. I can't remember the day, but
Mhm.
you trained my staff how to handle leads over the phone. And, we're trying to give them an opportunity, and it's legit. We're not trying to sell them something that they don't need or don't want. And your ads are spot on. You have a little secret that I don't really want to give away, but there's a reason why people respond to your ads and don't seem to respond to the typical ads that I see all over my feed, and that a lot of my colleagues are using near as well as the ads that you and your team have designed for me. And I really appreciate it. That's why I'm doing this interview late at night from my office at my house.
Yeah, it is. If no one will probably know, but it is 10 o'clock Eastern time for both of us. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, if someone
No,
wants to know the secret sauce, we can get in touch. We can connect them with it.
yeah, they can call me, and they can certainly call you. And I
Absolutely.
mean, it's like recommending a restaurant and then all of a sudden you can't get a table. That was my little trepidation about talking about Links and Ben Smith. But I want to help everybody out because we have a great profession. We do things that no one else can do. And there's a lot more to it than just, not that the adjustment is just an adjustment, but I mean, that's like the thing that we do. But there's so many wonderful things and technologies that are available to us. And we could take over a niche where, like the orthopedic surgeons are failing these patients miserably. If you want to get a needle or you want to get a pill or have surgeries. So we should be the go-to practitioners for musculoskeletal problems, and you're helping.
Yeah, no, and that's 100% right. And a lot of, not only are those types of programs great for patients, they're also great for docs. You are able to see fewer patients, spend more time with each patient. It's all around a better system and make more from each patient. And a lot of docs that we talk to, they want to implement a cash-based protocol. They don't have the systems for it. They don't know what that's going to look like. They've been doing general chiro with or without packages. What recommendations do you have for those docs? They haven't really gone outside of general chiropractic, or they're doing something else, and they don't have any of those cash-based protocols yet, but they want to implement one.
So when it comes to cash-based practice, insurance is covering less and less and less. And if you have something valuable, people will pay because they don't want to go through the mainstream Western medicine bag of bad tricks. Who wants to have 2 knee replacements and have a year of rehab and have those big scars down the front of your knees? If you could see us and in 10, 12 visits or less, you're running up and down stairs. Does it work for everybody? No. But by and large, the amount of satisfaction that we get in our office, patients are more than willing to pay, and they're willing to send their family and friends. And we have payment plans. We are participating with Care Credit, Ben, which I highly recommend. There's no interest. The doctor pays the interest. And if they can get approved, people will pay. People don't want to go through taking the pills. They would rather, contribute their hard-earned money and have skin in the game and get better.
And that's the amazing thing too. A lot of docs, a lot of patients, come into it with the mindset too. Yes, there's benefits. Yes, it's not the traditional Western medicine route, but it is incredibly expensive. But in retrospect, truly, it isn't. If you're going to go get spinal surgery, it's going to be way more. Frankly, it's the best of both worlds. You're not undergoing the needle, like you're saying, and you get a ton of value for what you're paying for.
Right. And you're right. You're talking about lost work time, difficulty taking care of your family, taking care of yourself. Spine surgery is no joke. And even when it goes well, within time, things start to go south. You get better by taking stuff out of you in most cases when it comes to the disc. So you create instability and loading abnormalities. And the next thing you know, you're back at the surgeon looking for another operation or another fusion. So it's so worthwhile to get to work on these patients. And you don't have to have the DRX 9000 or soft wave. There are lots of other ways to do it. We just like to have the state of the art. And, for us, my practice, it's working well. And I still, even though I'm old and probably should have retired like 30 years ago, I feel like I'm just starting. I really do. I have the same energy that I had when I was your age.
If you had to start your clinic all over again, you're back at square one, how would you do everything based on what you know now? Would you pursue cash patients? Would you do a high volume practice? What direction would you take it if you were back at square one? You didn't have any of the equipment. This is your first day.
I think, Ben, I would do a little bit of everything. I'd probably do some social media, kind of social network media with, Instagram and Facebook, which is still, I think, a good way to go. Maybe some TikTok, but smattering of all those. And I do think that a lot of people try to DIY it, and you really, I think we should stick to what we do best, which is taking care of patients, and then find someone like Lynx and Ben Smith who kind of have experience and do this for hundreds of doctors around the country, and do what you do best, and hire good staff. Start off with one person, and as you grow, hire more people, and get a flexion table maybe that you can do some decompression on, a Cox table, and some modalities. And then just start off slow. And as you start to make a better living, you can do some personal injury, contact some attorneys in your area, take them to lunch. I mean, you can't sit in your office and wait for the phone to ring when you're first starting. You kind of have to be out and about, meeting people, greeting people. I mean, think about it as like running for office. If you want people to vote for you, you've got to press the flesh, try to get some speaking engagements, maybe buy lunch for the local police department and invite them in for an exam, car dealers, gyms. I mean, there are a lot of ways when you're just starting out that you can get out and get your practice going quickly. And I think it's easier now than when I started in like the 1920s. It was a lot harder because there weren't as many chiropractors. So it's like, the more we think we're saturating the area, the more we're not actually. We're getting patients who are like seeing the word chiropractic now more than they ever did, and they're not happy with what's going on in the rest of the healthcare paradigm. So they show up at your office, and you start slow. And I think, I mean, I'm giving advice to people who already probably got a big leg up on me, because they are better educated, I think, now. And I think this generation seems to be willing to get out there and really, do what needs to be done. A lot of the guys when I started were more kind of like too patient, I would say. They kind of sat back and waited, and we're hoping to get lucky. There isn't much luck in this business. You have to go out and do it no matter what. And it definitely helps to have a company like Lynx who's behind you every day. And even like on a Sunday when you're going to church or hanging out with your family, your ads are out there, and they're doing work for you the whole time. I mean, that's amazing. We didn't have that. My patients didn't even have a cell phone when I started. They were just getting star texts. You don't even know what that is.
I
Flip
don't. I'm
phone.
going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
first texting that I ever did was alphanumeric. So, your one was ABC and your two was DEF. And it's like, it would take you like, 20 minutes to say, I'm on my way home. I mean, so life has changed. And I think it's good for our profession too. So as a result, I think, there are a lot more successful chiropractors now who are just starting out than when I did.
I love that analogy though. It's like running for office. You have to
Yeah.
get out, you have to campaign. I love that. That's really good. So kind of give like a 30,000 foot view of what processes you have, or you don't have to reveal the deep dark secrets, but what processes your clinic has to make sure that you're successful, and what other docs could implement to replicate that kind of success.
So I wish I could say I had a lot of secrets, and there are no dark secrets. I mean, come visit my practice. There's, 50 chiropractic practices in my state of Connecticut that are crushing it. So I'm just one of many, and there are guys doing way better than I am. So it's not like I'm like the king of the hill, but I'm somewhere on the continuum. And like I say, Ben, I think I'm just getting started. So I'll catch up to them. But I mean, from a 30,000 foot view, I would say just show up, be work, get up early. BJ Palmer once said, go to bed early, wake up early, and advertise. So work like hell. And, you definitely have to put some effort into marketing, and just be there. And then eventually, I think we have a great profession. It'll just fall into place. Love what you do. Love the people you serve. Don't complain about patients, if they
Yeah.
don't look the way you want them to look, or they don't come in dressed to the nines. They may be sloppy, or because people are in pain. No one
Mhm.
wants to take good care of themselves when they're in pain. So, it's like, let go of the judgments and just love people, and you'll be surprised. The people that, you might have prejudged may
Mhm.
shock you and become like a mainstay in your practice and help you tremendously.
Yeah. It's truly an amazing profession. And honestly, it makes it easier for us as marketers that we're able to market such an amazing profession.
How did
Because
you get into
things
it,
do
Ben?
fall into place. How did I
How
get
did you
into
get the
it?
marketing for chiropractors? Yeah.
So when I was very young, I started selling websites, like building out full websites. I learned to code. I started selling websites door to door to people. And it was, every business. I sold every kind of business. And I the I had two that I sold to that were local chiropractic clients. And they were the first ones that had ever asked to do advertising. They said, "Hey, I have colleagues who are doing advertising. We're not doing advertising." And at this time, like locally, no one was doing advertising. No one was advertising for even adjustments, anything. And so I said, "Yeah, sure. I'll do it." And so we got into it, started working with them. And I came to the realization that in my own business, in order to scale, I have to have a focus, right? We have to have a focus. And I quickly came to the realization that those two clients that were chiropractors, they were my favorite ones to work with. They had the best product of any. It wasn't even a comparison. I mean, we worked with restaurants, we worked with other service businesses, we had insurance, we had everything. We had everything. A cushion. I mean, like we sold a seat cushion, everything. I was advertising for everything, websites for everything. But the two chiropractic clients by far had the best service. It was the easiest to advertise for because what they were offering was a no-brainer, right? And what they were actually delivering on, people loved. So they had tons of testimonials for us to use. You'd ask these other businesses like, "Hey, if we're going to advertise for you, we'd love to have some testimonial. We'd love to have something put on the website," and they don't have anything. you know but our chiropractic clients had more testimonials. They had more love from their patients than anyone else. And
We're
so it made
content
it
churners.
exactly it made it
Yeah.
a super easy decision. These are the two clients that are frankly doing the best, but it's not, part of it's us, we're doing a great job for them, but part of it's like they have such a great service. They have it going
Yeah.
on in their own clinics. They had an offer that's so easy to advertise. Like I said, it's truly an amazing profession, right? And it makes it easier for us as marketers. I wouldn't want to market anything else because it would be so much harder. Everything changes people's lives in advertising. Everything. Oh, my life was changed, but chiropractic truly does. I mean, it's something that you can advertise that truly does genuinely, seriously change people's lives. It's about the
I
only
love
thing
it,
I
dude.
know.
Call this guy today. Call Ben. I'm telling you, that's a great story, bro. That's amazing. Good for you.
I appreciate it.
Love it. Yeah.
Um, so just kind of a more, backing up from some of those more specific questions. Um, just generally you and your clinic. And I know, we talk to a lot of people. They're, maybe they're in rough spots. They're in, difficult places. What would you say the scariest moment you went through was when starting your clinic, or even in the entire journey of the clinic? And what did you do to overcome it?
Well, every failure creates success. It's a roadmap to finding your success. So we cannot be afraid to flop and fail. And I have flopped and failed. 2007, 2008, during the housing bubble burst, and we had this recession, which now they're predicting we might have a mild one in year 24, or I guess the next 6 months or whatever. Who knows? But that was a pretty bad recession, and it was definitely tough because through no fault of my own, no fault. We just kind of acquired this personal injury heavy practice back then in the early 2000s. And so all of a sudden, I started getting these calls from lawyers saying, "Oh, the Ben Smith motor vehicle case, we didn't do so great. We didn't get a great settlement. So your bill is $4,800. Take 2,400 on it, and we'll make it up on the next one. And you want to be nice to lawyers. Obviously,
Mhm.
they were my lifeblood at the time. I didn't intend on having a personal injury practice. It just sort of organically happened. I had one lawyer that sent someone to me just because I was close to where they lived, and he ended up liking the service that we gave, so it just became a thing. But all of a sudden, those calls became like daily, 4, 5, 6 calls a day. Occasionally, they'd say, "Oh, we're not even going to get a settlement, so you're not going to get paid on that case." So I think we wrote off close to $400,000 in 2008, 2009, and it was scary times. I mean, I had, let's see, I had a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, and a 12-year-old at the time. I've got 3 kids, and it was scary, but I always had this kind of feeling that there's going to be tests along the way. Life
Mhm.
is like that, and recessions don't last.
Mhm.
So I knew we'd come out of it, and I wish I had more savings. I think that would be a good thing to tell people, to save your money. And So we made it through. Got a wonderful wife who, she worried about taking care of our kids, and was like my rock. Someone who said, "It's going to be okay. Don't worry about it." And
Mhm.
so we probably lost, I don't know, about 40% of our practice back then. And then I decided to focus on what I love the most, is taking care of disc patients and, spinal stenosis and, spinal stuff, which is really what I love to do because I was a patient myself. So I kind of refocused, re-energized, and I started from there. So now we don't do as much personal injury stuff as I
Mhm.
used to. I'm sort of glad that I don't, because those it's like a pendulum. So it could be up here and you're crushing it, and then all of a sudden, the economy tanks, and those cases don't settle. Or during COVID, a lot of cases didn't settle because there were no you couldn't go to court. So they either settled, for lower amounts by the lawyer talking to the claims adjuster over the phone,
Mhm.
or they got stacked up and backed up in the courts. So, I mean, I learned that you have to fail to succeed. You have to have, several failures. If you look at all the big successful people in life, they've flopped a few times, and it's okay. Give yourself permission. And it's hard to go through, but once you do it, you usually come out a lot stronger in the end, especially if you've had people that believe in you and you believe in yourself.
Yeah, I love that. I think uh, generally when you set out for something, or you want anything, life will test you. Life wants to see, are you serious about what you just said you wanted. And for me personally, I think part of that is God. I think God tests you. Hey, do you
Me
do
too.
you do you
Great.
really want what you want? If you set yourself to something and you're serious about it, you'll make it through those tests, but you will be tested. So I love that. That's very true. Um, so on a bit of a lighter note as well. So I'd love to ask you, what would you say, someone, who's talking to us, maybe thinking about doing something, what would you say to someone who's thinking of working with us, but is on the fence or unsure?
Feel free to DM me or call me. I'm at New England Spine Disc in Orange, Connecticut, 391 Boston Post Road, and I'll tell you my journey through social marketing. And I could just say, like, I see these people telling me all the time about these gurus who are out there, and I guess you're one of them too. But the other guys, I mean, they're clueless. It's unbelievable, and they're significantly more of an investment in your time and money to work with some of these guys. I mean, it is not inexpensive, but the idea is to get an ROI, and if you've got a reasonable ROI, then it doesn't matter. And if you spend 100 to make 300, or 20 to make 25, you'd rather spend the 100 to make 300, I'm guessing. So yeah, don't be afraid to spend what you can, because it will come back to you in payoff dividends. And don't worry about competition. There's no competition. There's plenty of patients to go around for everybody around you. As long as people are honest and ethical, you've got nothing to worry about. And I would just do whatever Ben tells you to do with links. It's worked for me. And I remember the day I talked to you, I was cleaning out my pool and I was down in the basement, and I did that, whatever you call it, the call, the phone call. What do you call the original call that we had?
Discovery call.
Discovery call,
Yeah.
right? Everyone calls it the discovery call. I don't really love those discovery calls, but yours, listen to your voice, bro. You've got a great voice. So your discovery call was enjoyable. You know, I was skeptical, of course, because nothing had been working. But I was more than willing to give it a go, particularly because nothing had been working. So, you know, you got to keep trying. And I mean, I think we're going to be together forever. If things keep going the way they're going, I can't imagine going with any other company. And I feel bad for the guys that I've used, because I've, you know, it just never really worked out. You need to get a return on investment. Is every lead going to be a quality lead? I mean, it depends on what you mean about a quality lead. But for me, if I get them in the seat, you know, it's in my office, that's a quality lead. Whether or not they purchase a care plan or become your patient. You know, we've had people that I saw like months ago who did not purchase a care plan, did not become a patient, and yet they wander back in and they say, I'm ready now. So, you know, it's like, you can't put pressure on these leads. You just have to offer them something that of great value that they can't get anywhere else the way you do it. And then you'll be fine. And I've been extremely happy beyond that with, you know, the work that you've done for us. And I'm very excited about using, you know, Chat GPT and AI. I think that's going to even improve things more dramatically.
I'm glad to hear that. And I'm honestly a little surprised to hear that you love my voice so much. I'm flattered.
No, it's very soothing. I mean, yeah,
good.
I'm going to play this tape tonight to go to sleep.
I'll send it to you.
Okay. I sleep with a dog and my wife. All my kids are, you know, we're the empty nest now. You want to see what a dog, this is what a dog bed looks like. Look at that. I mean, it's bones? Like it's like a pet cemetery. We have she has a collection of bones. We have a almost 2-year-old pit bull named Daisy, but I don't want to be like emasculated, so I call her Daisy. But pretty awesome.
I can tell that dog gets the bulk of the attention by the number of bones in there.
Yeah, I buy bones every day, and I get yelled at every day by the leader of my house, my wife. Buy too much crap for the dog, but you know.
Outside of that, so any specific numbers or results or anything off that comes to the top of the head that you want to share?
Well, it's like today, for instance, I can't even tell you. I mean, we probably got 5 or 6 leads today. I mean, it's just like it's a daily drumbeat. And like I said, you just want the majority of those people to either come in and go through the introduction. Don't forget that we're marketing decompression separately and also marketing the SoftWave TRT. And if you have other, you don't have to have the same equipment that I have. You can market other radio shockwave devices if you want, or, flexion distraction as decompression. I mean, you want to get them in your office to meet you, to meet your staff, to see what you do. And then, once you touch them and tell them, you're going to be okay, this is our plan, they'll have confidence in your hands, confidence in your knowledge, in your staff, and then you're going to be off to the races. It's obviously, I would recommend that you get a DRX 9000. I'd recommend that you get the SoftWave. Talk to Salim or Dr. Dodoro, with Softwave TRT. I can give you the hookup for those guys as well. They're brilliant. They've helped me, along the way as well. And definitely talk to Ben. And there's the secret sauce. I mean, you got it all right there.
And we touched on it briefly, and you kind of touched on it there with that secret sauce. So, I mean, there's a ton of agencies out there. I'm sure you know that. I know you've had other experiences. You kind of touched on that as well.
Six other companies.
Six.
The first guy got his business account closed by Facebook. So, so I left him because he wanted to do just Google and Instagram. And, I was big on Facebook. So I left him, and then I went with, I did all these discovery calls and went with like 5 other companies, and none of them came close to what you're doing. Not even close. It's amazing. Maybe they're doing better now, but the last 2 years, 3 years with those other companies, I mean, they got me nowhere, just no ROI at all.
Yeah, that's 6 is I actually didn't, I don't think I realized it was 6. I knew you had a few, but
and they're all nice people. I mean, they're not out to rip you off. They just don't, they're not as good as you are at getting the message out. And there is a secret to it. And it, when you told me, I was a little doubtful, but it's the secret. Definitely. If everybody knew it, Ben, you'd be nothing special in this business.
That's true. So any final thoughts? Anything else that comes to mind?
Wow. I mean, this is the first time I've ever been interviewed like this at 10 o'clock at night or at all. So the other thing that we do is we do like the ABC and CBS affiliate. They have a daytime talk show on both those affiliates locally. So getting your face on television will help.
So you have been interviewed.
Yeah, not like this at 10 o'clock at night, more like, noontime.
Yeah.
But even an ugly mug like mine, just don't be afraid to get it out there, and people will, they'll understand where you're coming from. Just make it about getting your patients better and get the leads from Ben, because when they see his ads, there's something, as we said, special about it. And they're like, wow, I've done everything for this back. I've done everything for this shoulder. I've done everything for this knee. I've done everything for my neuropathy or my plantar fasciitis. So why not try this? $49. I mean, what do I have to lose? So, yeah, if you get, if you have been doing the work for you in links, I promise that you will have the same impact and same results that I have. It's not that big, actually. Once you find out how easy it works, it's not that big a deal. And have a great staff. You don't want to do this yourself. You don't want to be a one-person operation. You can't be making the phone calls to the leads or scheduling them or collecting the 49. If they don't pay through you guys on your links contact, then we get the lead, and then we call them and try to collect the 49 over the phone using the script that you gave us. And it works.
That's good to hear. I think a lot of clinics underestimate how important, their front office staff is, their administrative staff. I mean, they're vital to your business, and, you should almost treat them like internal salespeople that you have. Right. They're the ones who are talking to patients before they get to you. They're the ones creating the first impression. So I love that. I think that's something that is very, very important, that isn't touched on as much, as how important your staff is inside of your clinic.
My staff are all former patients of mine.
Really?
Yeah. And so, they're going to tell their story to your patients, and it really works. I mean, Zach at the front desk, I know you've spoken to him. I mean, he tells his story to a prospective patient. Look, I was in your position, Mrs. Jones, and in fact, I was worse than you. And I sat in my car, he will tell you, in the parking lot after his first visit, crying, thinking, I finally found the place that's going to help me. And he got better. And so then during the COVID nightmare, he got laid off from his marketing job, and I happened to have a spot for him, thinking that it probably wasn't going to be that great a fit because I don't know if it was what he was looking to do, but it's he's worked out for us and we've worked out for him, and it's working out great. And he was yesterday was his 28th birthday. My office manager is 27. Yeah, so I've got an amazing associate doctor that works with me, my colleague. She is unbelievable, a dynamic dynamo. So you got to find people who the profession are really lucky to have, who
Mhm.
aren't afraid to, tell the patients what they need to be doing and manage their care. Don't let the patients control you, because you're the doctor. They're paying you for your expertise. Just like when you go to the dentist, you're not telling the dentist where to drill or, to get that tartar back there. You let them do what they know how to do best.
Just generally before we kind of close out, it's been great to have you. You've provided some great insights. I love that. I've never heard that before. Hiring former patients as staff. That's
It
it
just sort
really
of happened. That was organic again.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't intend to do that. It just
Mhm.
just works out.
That's really, really awesome though. You get raving fans to come work for you and tell their story. That's
Tell their
awesome.
story. Yeah.
So just generally, I mean, where can people find you if they want to connect further? If you're a patient and you're in Connecticut, it doesn't matter where you are in Connecticut, you should make the drive. Um, if you're a doctor looking to connect, if you're a patient looking to connect, where can people find you if they want to connect with you further?
I'm everywhere. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, Carp DC. I'm on Facebook, New England Spine Disc. New England Spine and Disc at gmail.com is the email address. If you want to reach out to us, you can DM me. I'd be happy to do whatever I can. I just helped a buddy of mine down in the Carolinas get involved with Softwave, because I think it's a great opportunity, if you really understand it. And it only really fits in certain practices because it takes a lot of time. And I think what happens is people hire untrained people to perform the treatment, and it really should be done by someone who knows anatomy pretty well. But you those are the two things that we do mostly during the day, and we're very busy, and thank God for my associate doctor. She's absolutely amazing, and the rest of my staff. We've got 4 people on our therapy suite. We've got a bunch of administrative staff. I have a coach, personal coach. I mean, I figured if Tom Brady could have a coach and Patrick Mahomes can have a coach, and my boy Jason Tatum can have a coach, and Carp can have a coach too. Do you have a coach, Ben?
I do.
All right. I think a lot of great people have better coaches. They don't
Mhm.
have to be as good as you at understanding everything, but they have to be better than you at understanding what motivates you and gets you going.
Absolutely. I think that's great advice generally, and I think a lot of people underestimate how valuable that is. It was great having you. It's an awesome interview, provided a ton of value. Really excited for everyone to see this. But outside of that, I'm looking forward to more success with you, looking forward to getting you some more patients in, and looking forward to seeing what you do with them and the amazing results that you get them.
Ben, I cannot thank you and your company enough. I really can't. And that comes from the heart. I know that you're doing the greatest work, and I appreciate it. And I hope thousands of doctors come on board. They will be so excited to get those leads and build their practices. And you better be ready to hire more staff.